Hello, JASIRians. Okay, I don't know if that sounds cute or even makes any sense, but I'll figure out something later, trust me, guys. Welcome to a very special edition of JASIRI, and today we are celebrating International Women's Day, a day dedicated to honoring the strength, the resilience, and brilliance of the women, the wonderful wonder that we are all around the world.
That's right, blessings. It's a day to uplift, to empower every woman who inspires us, who breaks barriers, and who continue to shape our world for the better.
And what better way to celebrate than right here with us? Now, today promises to be as electrifying as always, with a spice of empowerment, inspiration, and of course, a whole lot of love for our queens out there. Now, from the ladies of JASIRI, we are all starting the show wishing you Happy International Women's Day.
This is how you do it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do that again.
Happy International Women's Day!
And in the spirit of International Women's Day, honestly, ladies, what would you want to see women excel at more?
I think for me it would be STEM. To be honest, yes, I like, women in tech, women in mathematics and all of that. It's just something so sexy about it.
But I'm seeing a lot of women actually come out in STEM.
Yeah.
We're seeing more visual, more physical representation of women doing great, very great in STEM.
My own thing is just make money. I need women to, I need women to make more money. More money.
Be in governance, be more visible.
Make money.
Yeah.
How are you going to be in governance and politics if you don't have money?
But let's start,
And at least influence decision making. Yeah.
With money.
Oh my God.
you think anything comes for free? Women having more money will make it easier for them to make more change.
No, but they say if you chase your passion, then the money will follow you.
I know that money comes. When there is value, money is going to follow value, and women are offering more value across the world. And the beautiful thing is that at everything we do, we have to do double more to be able to get the basic that men get. But so women have been pushing themselves for centuries, and we're seeing the good results.
Mrs. B says,
That's a new one.
Which one is Tab? Mrs. B.
But you know, has split personalities, right?
Yeah,
Lolo, it's Women's Day. Just pretend like you actually love everybody on this table.
Just pretend.
Tolu says, I hear it about money, but sometimes I was watching a video on Instagram yesterday where a 79-year-old woman was saying that when they said, what do you know now that, you wish you had known? If I said, what would you put less value on? And she said money. Because, while it's good, wait. While she said money is good to have, it's easy, it makes life easier, softer and everything, but it's not necessarily the answer to all questions and all worries in the world.
Money stops rubbish. Money stops.
I don't blame people that have money.
Okay, since Tolu is on the money part, let me just drop a song. Money they make man, no they love him brother again, no they love his sister again.
No, that's not the Bible verse. The Bible verse says that the love of money is the root of all evil. The Bible itself also says that money answereth all things.
Wow. But love is in that song.
Love is in that song. So I can love you with money. Lolo, imagine if I loved you with money.
Honestly, I would love that a lot.
If I spoilt your life with love with money.
Honestly, money has its pegs, honestly. Like, I would love to take you guys, let's have JASIRI Himalayan mountains,
No.
Wait.
Okay, I'll be at base camp waiting for you. Too many people go up and never come down.
We could be in Bali.
Yes, now you're speaking my language.
I'm in my gown. Because bikini might not just do the justice.
I'll do two-piece.
Those that can...
Okay, so money versus care money versus care, attention.
How do you care without money?
But don't you guys think
Look, in all honesty, I do not know what your wife is getting at this morning, but I know she's just saying it for media purposes.
She's not just saying it too. She's not just saying it. I promise you.
So let's go back to this International Women's Day. Money can change a lot. Money is used to influence politics. It's used to lobby. When women who are powerful, influential, and who have money step into the game, they can make the change. We can all keep talking as much as we want to.
Imagine if we had women who wanted to who wanted to join politics and be involved in governance, and we had a pool of resources provided by women.
So the thing is, I won't lie, right? Money has, like she said, its own perks, but I believe that sometimes, just starting off at the grassroots level, we had an instance, I can't remember, a year something, and we're talking about, okay, she can campaign for votes, go around, knock on doors and get people to vote. If she decides to run, that's just on the grassroots level. So when she decides to run, people come out, campaign for her. As she rises up the cadre, I promise you the money will come. Because if we keep waiting for money, a lot of people will be discouraged. Let's be honest, right?
Honestly, because I said biggie tails yesterday and they came after me. Let me make this clear. I piggyback on what you said. But I honestly think that before we even get to money, women have to trust themselves. I think sometimes we distrust ourselves a lot because at the back of everything, you see that the things that make us women, we're very emotional people. And I think women easily get carried away by the success of one another. And, it builds some kind of mistrust. Because if we do not have a unified, front that we're pushing, it might become very hard. There are many women that are making money in this present time. Imagine if we're all together and we're able to focus on one thing that we want to hit at.
Can we do that? Yeah, because I think that's what the men thrive on.
They do it successfully.
And they thrive on the fact that we are not yet able to harness that and separate emotions from the practicality of things. Like you say, how honest would a woman's reaction of supporting a woman be? But are we really honest? Oh my dear,
Tolu has been desiring money, but
and then you do air kisses, and then when they turn their backs, they're like,
everybody goes back to
injustice. I think we do injustice to the place of emotion, of mental fortitude, and emotional intelligence. I think we do injustice to that, to the place of emotional intelligence in leadership, in governance, in politics, in making decisions. So yes, there's emotion, and I actually don't think all women are emotional. There are some that are.
Not all.
But we need to go on a break because we have a powerhouse, phenomenal woman joining us in honor of International Women's Day. But we're also doing something very special today because for the very first time, we're opening the JASIRI phone line.
Hola, your girls.
So once we get to the hot topics at 10:30, we'll be ready to take your calls. So please don't waste this opportunity to talk to the ladies of JASIRI. The number's on the screen, but let me help you out. It's a +234 7055 727272. JASIRI continues after the break with us talking to a powerhouse, phenomenal Nigerian woman. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back to JASIRI. Now remember, we're streaming live on our social media platforms. We're at News Central TV. Please use the hashtag JASIRI. That way we'll know you're part of the conversation and that you're watching. Ladies and gentlemen, on this remarkable International Women's Day, we are honored to welcome a true trailblazer to our show. A remarkable woman who has dedicated her life to advocating for women's rights and women's empowerment in Nigeria. She's a former presidential candidate under the COA party and a fierce advocate for gender equality and women's inclusion in decision-making processes. Please make welcome Professor Oluremi Comfort Shonaya to JASIRI. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you so much for joining us, and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you.
All right, in the light of this amazing celebration, we have been clamoring for women empowerment and, of course, women inclusion in decision-making, policy-making for years. And the themes of International Women's Day changes every year, depending on the conversations and, of course, depending on the progress that has been made across societies and the UN member state. Now, this year, the theme for International Women's Day, the official theme for 2024 is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. What kind of investment are we talking about? What kind of investment should be made in the Nigerian women, especially to accelerate our progress, both as a gender and as a nation?
Thank you very much again. I'm very happy to be with you this morning. But before we delve into the matter at hand, let me seize this opportunity to congratulate women everywhere on this year's International Women's Day, and to say, a happy celebration to all of us, women, girls around the world. But also, I would like to seize this opportunity to acknowledge the contribution of men who have been in support of women. Our fathers, the husbands, the sons, the brothers, the uncles, cousins, who have done right by women. I think it is important to acknowledge them on such an occasion, and to say a big thank you to them for their support. I know that personally, I have been a beneficiary of the support of the men in my life. My father, my brothers, my husband, my son, my cousins, friends. So I cannot but thank them all on this special day. Right, so what kinds of investment do we need to give to women to ensure that we would make progress? Normally the first response that comes would be education, and it is so important. Education, education, education. You know the saying that when you educate a woman, you educate an entire community, or people even say you educate the nation. However, I would like to start off by focusing on the intangibles at this time. Let us invest in love, in compassion, in dignity, in fairness, in justice, in equality for our girls and our women. That is what really would make the difference, I believe. It's so important. I spoke once with a group of students, junior secondary school students in Ife on one occasion. And there were some of them who expressed the fear that they had going to school every day. Why? Because they have to pass by a motor park, and they were constantly subjected to harassment. The people, the rough people in the motor parks would taunt them, would say all kinds of things to them. Some would, run after them, slap them on their butts and things like that. Young girls, Form 1, Form 2, and every day going to school was a rather traumatic experience. So we need to learn respect. We need to learn compassion. We need to learn, fair treatment to everybody. This is unacceptable. So this is why I wanted to begin by emphasizing the importance of those intangible values that we can all share as a people, and ensure that our girls are not harassed, that there isn't the danger of rape and violence for little girls just as they roam about our communities or on their way to school. So having said that, though, one cannot overemphasize the importance of education. We can say that in several of the countries where a lot of progress has been made by the women, you see that this tallies, it correlates positively with a higher level of of education, of literacy for the women. And this is an investment that I believe we too in Nigeria have to make. Let me stop there for.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I must say that formal and informal education go hand in hand, and empowering women must also go beyond teaching them how to just make bags and soaps and everything else along the way. While we appreciate some of the poverty alleviation initiatives that have been deployed by public and private organizations, it still seems that at the grassroots level, there are yet many skills and mindset gaps that exist because the communities are in survival mode. So what level of investment do you think will emancipate women and free them to be active citizens and contributors of society?
Thank you very much. That is a very important point that you have raised. You know, because it has often been said that the face of poverty is female. And we keep entrenching that poverty, you know, by engaging in these gestures that we call empowerment, but which do not really bring about fundamental changes in the status, in the position of women. You know, so people think, oh, just buy them pepper grinding machines, hair setting products, and so on, you know, sewing machines, and all such things, like you said, you know. Yes, we do appreciate these efforts, but to ensure that we get the full benefit of the important contribution that women can make to our communities, to our nation as a whole, then we must lift them above just grinding pepper, making soap, and so on. That ties again with education. And we must protect the women from all kinds, women and girls, from all kinds of practices that keep them down, that limit their attainment of their potential. One is child marriage, for instance. We must confront this matter. We tend to shy away from, you know, really tackling the issues. We don't want to ruffle feathers and so on and so forth. But when you marry off a 9-year-old girl, you are ensuring, you know, that herself and the children that she's going to bring into the world are going to have a difficult kind of life. So these are some of the issues that we need to address in the nation. We cannot keep, you know, saying, oh, some certain things are our culture, you know, and we just have to, you know, abide by them. These are the practices that have been handed over to us, you know, over the years and so on. Look at the treatment, for instance, of widows in some cultures still. We cannot continue like this and expect that we would accelerate progress. I mean, we can't even make substantial progress, never mind accelerating it. And time is not waiting for us. The world is moving ahead. Many countries are moving ahead. And it is also known that Nigerian women are capable, that we are demonstrating our abilities, our competence in various ways. And it is so incongruous what we now find obtaining in our country, where the women are missing when it comes to decision-making positions, important political positions, and so on. Look at the women in the private sector. Look at the women in education, and so on. What is keeping us away from making an impact where it really matters most, which is in the political sector? So
okay.
I think that we must wean ourselves from this mindset of, oh, just keep the women, you know, quiet, give them their sewing machines and their grinding machines, and let them support, you know, and dance for the men when those ones are going on their political campaigns, you know, give them the wrappers, give them the headgears, you know, and so on and so forth. Let them come and be the cheerleaders. That is not enough, because there is a lot more that women can contribute to this nation.
And very much so. So on that note, I'm going to ask this question because we know of your own experience in the political field as well. About a decade ago, you ran for president of Nigeria under the COA party. Now, in the years since, what do you make of women's representation in politics and governance in the country? Especially when we look at the dismal numbers in the National Assembly and at the state houses of assembly as well. We spoke to 2 women, one in politics earlier this week, as well as one in leadership. And the numbers are showing us that we are still keeping women outside the door. So what do you make of whatever incremental, minimal progress, if there has been, in the past 10 years since you, of course, put your hat in the ring for president of Nigeria?
Thank you very much. I believe you already mentioned the word that you used. You said dismal.
Yeah.
And it is dismal. The performance in politics in particular. And it is not that Nigerian women are not interested, but just look at the cool culture of politics that we have in the nation, where, you know, the gatekeepers are so ferocious in their defending of this turf for themselves. Just look at the acrimony, the animosity, the violence that attends our politics, the contest. Many women would not have the heart for such things, you know, and that was why it was thought that maybe having a quota system where we would reserve some seats in the assemblies for women. But unfortunately, that too fell through because it did not garner the kind of support that it needed in the National Assembly. So it's very sad indeed, because like I said, and it is known the world over, Nigerian women are not lacking in capability. We can begin to name names, can't we? Of Nigerian women who are occupying important positions in international organizations around the world. I think of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who, by the way, was my classmate in the secondary school. There is Mrs. Amina Mohammed, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. I'm honored, by the way, to be involved in a very important, groundbreaking political movement with her currently. We call it Fixed Politics Initiative. And what we are doing is to train a new generation of leaders in politics in Nigeria, men and women. You know, so these are the things we must address as a nation, and very, very urgently too.
All right, thank you very much for the insightful conversations that we've been having. This one is like a future projection. If you had like an opportunity you know, to just influence policies, especially when it concerns women in politics or in the nation generally, what would your action points be?
Thank you so much. First and foremost, get every child in school. Just look at our streets and look at the number of girls and also boys, by the way. On the streets, Nigeria has over 20 million children who are out of school. And there are so many also who are now in their maybe 20s and so on, who have no schooling at all. They have had no at all. How can we as a nation hope to advance, hope to make progress when we are not training and schooling our children? How can we compete in this world? It is simply not possible. You know, so my very first action would be get every Nigerian child properly educated, train their minds to discern, to judge rightly, to be able to evaluate people, to evaluate politicians' manifestos, you know, because that is so crucial. When the politicians come, they just bamboozle people and so on, throw money at them and hope to get their votes. And an educated population hopefully would not continue along that path.
Wow.
So that would be, well, my very first and probably most important action point.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for spending time with us on this very wonderful day that we're celebrating all women across the world. Thank you for lending your voice to everything that concerns politics and governance, especially as it pertains to women. We appreciate your coming on the show, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm grateful.
All right.
So, very insightful conversation that we've had, and we've been talking to Professor Oluremi Shonaya. But right now, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we will take a trip down memory lane of the weeks that was, of the week that was. Don't forget your phone line opens today at 10:30 a.m. and our numbers to call is 234-7055. 727272. JASIRI continues in a moment.
It's been an interesting week this week, guys. We've had several prominent women on this table, believe me, and we discussed the inclusion of women across board. But let's start on Monday with my favorite women on the table, dropping valid points we all need to consider in this country. Now, let's take a look.
That says life imitates art, or is it art that imitates life? In this situation, they don't come from heaven. Our leaders are not coming from God. They're coming from among us, a behavior that has been among us for now generations. So how do you expect them to get there and then be saints among sinners?
And that means nobody in this country is good.
Nobody's good.
So one of our guests said something one day that the government is a reflection of the people.
Absolutely.
Yes, because that's how, like, they grew up in the neighborhood. So if our government is like that, we need to ask ourselves, that means this is how we are.
No, but seriously, that is how we are. Because if we're looking at people going to places where grain are stocked and you're trying to steal yams, for example, let's even take a look at what happened in Benue before Lagos and now in the north. And you would go there and you would take what you see. You will not just take what you see. You will go and call your neighbor, Mama Emeka, what do you do for her?
The ladies on the show were vexing on Monday.
I didn't know I was so dramatic.
Oh my! It was really. I think it's not coming from God. It's coming from us. I'm like, do you want to beat me?
But we made valid points.
I think it's different when you listen, take a step back and listen to yourself and watch yourself, and that you can actually listen and follow the argument of each one of us. Valid points were raised. Valid points were raised. The truth is, we are. I'm not continuing.
Because you'll start another round.
Please say what you
Okay. All right, ladies, but really, there is more we can do in politics, and not just politics, every sphere. And I'm still so grateful for women like, the person we just had, and of course, Ariola Oloko, for getting included in Nigerian politics, despite the hurdles involved. And I would like to say that it's not just enough to be in the room where decisions are made. You have to also take a stand, because men understand that we want to be in the room, but they put you in the room and then they control your agenda, right? So we don't want...
No, because do you know who else is in the room? The secretary. The person who takes notes is in the room.
Exactly.
The person who prepares the coffee, the tea, and the snacks is in the room.
Exactly.
Assistants are in the room. So it's not about getting in the room alone.
It's not just getting in the room.
It's not just about getting in the room.
Oh, wow, wonderful. You know what else we need to do? Oh, let's listen to what she said on the show.
I was determined to stick to, and I wanted to make a difference. I really wanted to serve, and I still want to serve my country. You know what I mean? So I just thought, look, it's enough. I should stop talking bad about Nigeria or doing things and just saying things. If I cannot be part of it, cannot put my money where my mouth is, and I have no business complaining about anything that's wrong in Nigeria.
Nice. We really did have very insightful conversation.
Yep.
And you know what else we need to do as ladies? We need to stop waiting for the approval or permission to take our seats generally in positions. We need to take it unapologetically. And just show how Abosede George Organ put it on Wednesday, where we talked about women breaking the glass ceiling. Let's listen. Let's hear it.
In leadership across board. Guess what happens at the National Assembly? Men, because there's only so much space, they now start sitting next to women. So that perception, that perception that I have your type at home, actually four of your type at home, it starts to shift just because you are like, well, this my type is right here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that we are at that point where we need to force behavior change, right? Because we are so socialized in a way where you cannot blame the men for actually treating women the way they... I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
This week was hard.
That woman was so passionate.
Yes, and she's coming back because remember she talked about the care situation of things. So we really need to look at that both at the corporates and the public level, the privates and the public level, in terms of how we make it easy for women to get onto the corporate ladder, to be on the career path, stay on the career path when they have kids and get married, and of course be able to progress. So Abosede George Organ, Ariola Oloko, and Professor Sonaya, thank you so much for adding your voice this week as we have put our own forth for celebrating and commemorating International Women's Day. Now, finally, on the week that was, yesterday I pulled a master stroke. In fact, you call it a coup. I pulled a surprise on the ladies that had us all in tears, and it was an amazing moment. The feedback from everybody who watched also, guys, I love
Even
you.
our competitors watch.
Even our competitors watch.
Don't start.
But really, if you had a chance to talk to your younger self, what would you say? What would the advice be? Take a look. On sets with these amazing women, I've actually thought back to all the young girls and young children that we were, and I'd like to ask you guys, what advice in one sentence would you give your younger self? Catherine, let me start with you. Why me? Because you're across the table from me. Say one sentence. If you want to say it in French, say it in French. But you said it yesterday.
Oui.
Like
It's not that deep. No, c'est pas si grave.
Blessings.
Grava. I'm still my younger self.
When Jennifer come after you.
Hello? Answer the question. Answer the question.
We got you.
Okay, so on a serious note, I would say worrying doesn't solve any problem. The things that you worried about yesterday, when you look back at it tomorrow, you'll be like, why was I even worried? So calm down.
Calm down. Calm. Lolo, what advice?
Honestly, now I know that things are never as hard as you think it is. Everything passes eventually. So calm down.
Why all the calm? Hello?
Yes,
The more reason you tell people to calm down. Tolu hasn't told us how.
My own is auntie, make the money. The men will be waiting. Make the money. But you know what? Because I was thinking about our younger selves, ladies. I don't know what's going on. This week has been me and money.
It's always the money.
It's me the money.
We need to give this to be in the studio.
No, I will veto that show. Well, we had a fantastic week on JASIRI, and we're looking to end the week on a very high note, and that is going to come up when we have hot topics. That's coming up after the break. But also remember, we're opening our phone lines for the first time. Ejo, ma shame on me. Please don't put me to shame. Ejo, please call us. We'll be waiting for you on the other side of the break. Do stick around. Welcome back to JASIRI. It's time for your favorite segments of the show. Catherine, you can. Why is it only Catherine that dances?
I don't know.
Is it only Catherine that dances for JASIRI for a hot topic?
But I bring music.
She sings.
JASIRI.
Yeah, actually, she sings.
I want to see someone do leg work because I don't know how to do it.
This is.
I have to left feet.
Yo, that's why I refuse to jump on
Say
our
no
channel.
more.
I'll tell you who. Bookie, the producer. She'll do the leg work.
She'll do the leg work.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen her dance?
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, I love
You know, I always tell you guys, you need to stay on News Central's timeline, Instagram, because the ladies of JASIRI, our whole team is going out. The things you did not know we're capable of doing. We'll be giving you BTS behind the scenes.
From makeup
I told you. Anyway, unfortunately, as we are celebrating International Women's Day, we also cannot ignore the insecurity and violence that stalks the lives of many Nigerian women and young girls. On Wednesday, Boko Haram insurgents kidnapped some 300 women. The numbers do vary, but there are over 150 women who were kidnapped from their internally displaced women's camp in Borno State. Then on Thursday, bandits attacked the LEA primary school in Kuriga community in Chukwum local government area in Kaduna State. They shot a student and abducted over 200 others and teachers. Residents say every single household in the community is affected.
You know, it's so alarming when we hear news like this. It is really a shame that things like this are still happening. Don't we remember that the federal government came up with the Safe School initiative after the global outcry that followed the Chibok girls' kidnapping in Borno in 2014? From 2014 to now, a decade later, can we really say that schools within those regions are safer?
We definitely cannot, because, I mean, still talking about this Chikun local, I think it was last year or even early this year, about 3 or 4 kidnaps have happened in that same region, and we're not seeing anything being done to beef up security. And imagine how much we've spent with almost nothing to show for it. The National Coordinator Financing Safe Schools in Nigeria, Hajiya Halima Ilya Ibrahim, said that a national plan on financing safe schools was developed and launched in December 2022. The national plan will be implemented, according to her, between 2023 to 2026, with a total investment size of about 144 billion. Now, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, also went ahead to give his own quota regarding all of this. He unveiled security equipment and commenced a training program for state coordinators of the school's protecting squad, that's the SBS, and selected divisional police officers. We're seeing all of these security measures put in place. We're seeing security agencies. We're seeing the local police as well. But we're still seeing a repeat of what's happening. Are we saying that these bandits are outnumbering our security agencies? Are we saying that we do not have enough equipment? The last time that they tried to rescue some kidnapped people, they accidentally bombed the entire place. Accidentally, quote and unquote. So we don't know whether or not we're capable security-wise to tackle this issue. It's just really worrying, to be honest.
So before we go and before we get into that, we have Olalekan on the phone from Lagos. Hello, Olalekan.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on JASIRI. Tell us what you think. We have our own hot topic, but what's been a hot topic for you this week?
I didn't get that.
What's your own hot topic for the week? What story has really got you this week?
Oh, I think it's the show yesterday where we had Okoyemi on the show.
What did you like about that?
I hear you.
What did you like about that show, Olalekan?
Oh, I love the conversation about African food, especially the Nigerian food yesterday.
All right, fantastic. Olalekan calling from Lagos. Thank you so much. You are our first caller, so let's woo! Our very first caller on JASIRI. And we hope to hear from you again.
Your name will definitely be in our history book.
We should give him something, our very first caller.
If they can get his contacts, let's see what we can do for him. But looking at what Blessings was talking about, there's money attached to this. Because even this Safe Schools initiative, I know the British government, I think was it Cheryl Blair, one of the former PM's wives was also involved. But it's the money. You're talking about some 144.8 billion naira that's supposed to be the total investment from 2023 to 2026. It breaks down into how this money is meant to be spent, but we know all the funding money that has gone into this. We know how we've talked about moving IDPs back to their homes. We just had a conversation with one of the few women who has ever ran for president in Nigeria. She talks about education. But if you're in that region, how do you want to send your girls to school? Your boys or your girls, but particularly your girls, when you could wake up at any moment and somebody calls you that they've been kidnapped.
You know, since 2014 till now,
happening at the same time.
We cannot say that we haven't had ample time to be able to look critically and look for viable solutions to this particular lingering problem. Because it's not just something that just happened, you know, off the cuff. It's something that has been happening.
Yes. Let me hold you, Lolo. We have another caller. Maybe we'll just make this a call day. John from Abuja is joining us. John, good morning and welcome to JASIRI.
Good morning.
Good morning, John. Thank you so much. So tell us, what's your hot topic of the week, of the day, or your show for this week?
I just called to say happy International Women's Day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. And we hope you're wishing the women and young girls around you happy International Women's Day as well. You're showing it to them too, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So Lola, the money, the children, the repetitive nature of this.
But in Nigeria, we're always slow coming. I don't know why we take things with levity. The lives of these children, look at the Chibok girls. If we're going to keep looking at them, they become the poster child for kidnapping of children in Nigeria because a lot of them are still with their abductors. It's not all of them that have been rescued or that has found their way out. And we keep adding more to the numbers. That means we're building a community. Now these girls are living with their kidnappers, they're living
having
children by them, and we're forming a community that probably would no longer even remember how to be right or wrong. And I'm looking at the numbers that they are committing to building this Safe School initiative. And it's the long-term effect we're looking at from 2023 till 2026. And this is 2024. At least from 2023 that this initiative started, we should be seeing some positive milestones. You know, milestones being taken.
And there are monies involved, like we talked about. Tolu mentioned the money's involved. Where this money is going? What are we doing? Are we just learning to walk backwards? We take 6 steps forward and take 14 steps backwards. What exactly are we doing? We're not joking. These are human lives. The statistics were staggering.
Yes.
200 people kidnapped. Are you taking from the market?
In almost
200 children on
you just go, okay, here we are going.
Why
we're carrying,
the kidnappers why wouldn't they have a field day? Because nothing really happens when they do that. And they've been getting away with it.
So my thing is, I think we have another caller.
Comfort from Yobe. Comfort from Yobe. Good morning and welcome to JASIRI.
Good morning.
I love
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, Comfort. Do you have a hot topic you've enjoyed this week? Save you. Thank you so much, Comfort.
All the way from Yobe State.
Wow. I love that.
Comfort is my sister. I just realized. That's my sister.
No!
Oh my God. I was wondering, Comfort. Oh my God, that's my sister.
It's still a family show. We don't care. We take it.
We don't care. From all around the world, we don't
realize. Wow. Okay, so I was talking about the fact that if we can partner with, let's even say that the excuse is that we don't have enough in our arsenal to fight these bandits, which doesn't exactly make sense. But if you can partner with people on financial investments, on agricultural investments and things like that, why can we not, if we need international aid, why can we not reach out for international aid? Because it's looking as though we're not prioritizing the security sector. Children are getting kidnapped. It's bad enough that that parents in those areas can hardly raise money to take care of their children. But then they raise money, send these children to school, and you're not even sure whether your child is coming back to you.
It's a situation, and we know former Senator Sheikh Hussaini also, of course, tweeted about it. He's from Kaduna, and he had one or two things to say. If we can get his tweet up now. And it's, especially with the Kaduna situation, it's been quite reoccurrence. He said, it's tragic to hear that 232 students have been kidnapped in Kuriga village, Shikam local government area in Kaduna State. It's the same village where a school principal, Idris Sufyan, was killed and his wife kidnapped over a month ago. However, I'm optimistic their freedom will be secured. We've heard from the governor, who says they're doing everything that they can do to make sure that they, of course, have everything they need to have in order to bring these children back. We have a caller coming, is from Lekki now, Osalge. I think that's the name I heard from our producers, calling us Osaze. There we go. Calling us from Lekki. Osaze, welcome to JASIRI. Thank you so much for calling us.
Thank you very much.
All right. So tell us, what do you think?
Well, I'm enjoying your program. I'm a bit worried about the country. I think we should just be more honest about the security situation in the country. And it's a big for all the security agencies are available. So maybe we should think seriously. Maybe women should be given more national responsibilities. Maybe the women would do better than the men. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Osaze.
And that was spot on.
Yes,
that was
very
spot on.
very spot on.
It takes me back to when President Tinubu was doing, I think, the ministerial retreat and talking about having his ministers have deliverables and, a contract with the people. And I remember the complaints during the Buhari administration, how long it would take him to change the heads of the security agencies when he reluctantly would ever do it. When is it going to be enough for the Tinubu administration? When would we say maybe, you know what? Maybe the people at the helm of affairs, the service chiefs, are not doing enough. We clamored for it during Buhari's administration. Are we ready to clamor for it now during the Tinubu administration? Or do we want to give them more time? But what time is there for 200 plus women? And we know what happens with women. They're trafficked, they're assaulted, they're raped. Yeah. We heard what happened with the Chibok girls and other women and girls who've been kidnapped. They're moved to Niger, to Chad. They are dissipated across West Africa.
They lose themselves. Honestly, I think this is something the president needs to put a very, very sharp eye on.
I don't actually want to hear the sound. Okay, guys, I think, I don't know, do we have to run?
We have to run.
We have to run.
So, as we always say on the show, time flies when we're having fun. That's even so true, because the time is up. We gotta go. Once again, though, happy International Women's Day to all the ladies out there, starting with the ladies here on this table. Keep breaking the status quo, just like the theme for this year, guys. Invest in women, accelerate progress.
All of our progress.
Yes.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International
See you next week.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.